Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. My name's Kimmy. Today I wanted to film the eyeshadow palette tag. This is what Samantha March and Allie Glines have come out with this year. I know they had round one last year, which forgive my pregnancy brain, I don't think I did, but I may have. But I really wanted to jump on this one. It's just so much fun to kind of talk about eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my favorite makeup product, so I'm really excited to kind of talk about all of my eyeshadows. So before we get into that, I would really love it if you wanted to subscribe to my channel so you can keep seeing more videos from me and join my family here on YouTube. And give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy videos like this. And let's get started. So the first eyeshadow palette that we're going to talk about is my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. And for me, that is my Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction eyeshadow palette. This is the Mothership 7 palette, I believe. And I mean, look at how glorious it is. It is the most stunning and special eyeshadow palette that I have. Another thing that makes it that much more special is because my husband bought it for me for Christmas last year or 2 years ago, and that just makes it more sentimental as well. Now this palette and Pat McGrath eyeshadows in general are just formulated above and beyond. They are the most incredible formulas on the market, in my opinion. I've tried lots of eyeshadows, and these are by far the best quality. The mattes blend out the best. They're very pigmented, but very buildable at the same time. You can go in with a very sheer amount and take what looks like a very deep shade like this one and turn it into a lovely transition shade. But then you can also deepen it up and keep building it, and it will get, have a lot of dimension in there. And then with this palette, you have so many different formulas in here. There's 3 mattes, there's shimmers, there's metallics, and then there's these toppers. This glitter eye topper is amazing. This is probably my favorite eyeshadow on, like, in my collection as a whole. It's green, it's pink, and it's just so beautiful. And you can transform these too. When you add something like the Makeup by Mario Master Manipulator and get them wet, they turn into just an extra, I want to say like an extraterrestrial version of themselves. This is it, just kind of by itself. The quality of the glitter is, they're so finely milled. They're mesmerizing, and it's just my most favorite palette to work with and go back to. I can count on it, and it's just perfect and beautiful in every way possible. So this is my all-time favorite palette. Okay, so next we're going to talk about my new favorite eyeshadow palette, which has got to be the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I can't stop using this. I used it today in my eyeshadow look. It's just so much fun. The packaging of it is stunning. I love, like, what am I trying to say? This sort of pattern, like this gemstone pattern. It's just so beautiful. And then on the inside, again, these tones are just so special as well. This palette actually is my answer to another one of the questions that we have in here, which is the didn't expect to love. So I want to address that as I'm talking about it for why it's my new favorite. So this palette, when it first came out on the market, the pictures on Sephora and on Instagram did not do it justice. It made it look so muted, so boring and average, and it didn't excite me at all. However, I saw a couple of reviews of it, and people, especially using like the glitters in here, and they're just so special. And so that's kind of what made me want to buy it. So Pat McGrath last year came out with a new palette like this that had this very special bluey violet eyeshadow in there that I wanted so bad. It was so beautiful, it was so mesmerizing, but I didn't want to buy the whole $125 palette for that one eyeshadow. And someone used this shade right here, the shade Cosmic Love, which reminded me so much of it. Look at that. It's blue, it's pink, it's violet, and just as special as the Pat McGrath eyeshadow, I think. Maybe not quite as impactful as hers, but all you need is a little bit of binder of some sort and it will up its impact so prettily. So I didn't expect to love this as much as I do, and I'm so glad I have it because I cannot stop playing with it. You can see some of my indentations a little bit. Maybe you can't because my camera is not that good, but I honestly can't stop using it. It's so beautiful. You can do really wearable looks, like everyday looks, and then some really fun, crazy, super colorful looks with it as well. It's just the most beautiful eyeshadow palette, and it's just so inspiring to me. The color story just gets me every time. Every time I pull it out, I get re-excited over and over again. So this is my new favorite and a palette that I didn't expect to love. Next, we're going to talk about a palette that I keep just for the memories. This is an eyeshadow palette that I basically never use, and I just can't get rid of it because memories, right? This is my just single eyeshadow palette. I got this when my husband and I first started dating. He actually bought me a bunch of eyeshadows from ColourPop, and he got me this Z palette, and I was able to put in some old Makeup Geek eyeshadows in here. I've got Makeup Geek blushes, Makeup Geek eyeshadows. These ones are ColourPop, and then over here, this one's also ColourPop, but all of these are Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and I just can't get rid of it. I very rarely use it. Occasionally I'll take it out to use this very amazing blue. I mean, look at that. It's such a pretty, like, robin's egg blue, but for the most part, I don't ever use it because it's, I mean, looking at it, it's not very exciting, right? The eyeshadows, especially the Makeup Geek ones, are probably expired at this point. The ColourPop ones are probably expired too. They are about 5 years old. I just can't get rid of it. I cannot bring myself to get rid of this eyeshadow palette. So this is one that I keep just for the memories. One day I might declutter it, but that day has not happened yet. An eyeshadow palette that I think is underrated, and I'm going to talk about this company as a whole because I do not hear any buzz about this company, but their eyeshadows are amazing, and that's Ace Beauty or Ace Beauté, Ace Beauty. I have no idea. Again, I say this every single time I use their products. I have no idea how to pronounce their name, but look at the color story of this eyeshadow palette. It's so vibrant. All the colors are just so punchy, so much impact when you use them. They are actually pressed pigments as well, so they're not just like a regular eyeshadow. It's a pressed pigment, and so they are just so vibrant. It's incredible how much pigment these have, and especially the colors in this eyeshadow palette. These are hard to do. These are hard colors to make, and Ace Beauty has done them amazingly. Terrible swatches, but you can see how pigmented those are. They're amazing, and they blend out so wonderfully. They're very easy to use, very, I would even say, beginner friendly for how pigmented they are. They're just fantastic. I want to get more palettes from them. Everything I have received, I've gotten from BoxyCharm, and I'm really glad that BoxyCharm works with this company because truly, anytime I get something from them, I know it's going to be superb, like truly, and like incredible. And this palette is just so much fun to play with. I'm excited to kind of get back into it as the weather starts warming up. I know there's something about this that just screams summer, so I haven't really been touching it yet, but recently, but this green is just everything to me, honestly. I love this green. Okay, next up is not a favorite, but I can't get rid of it. This is, and for me, that's going to be my Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette. This is volume 1. I've had this since it came out. I mean, this is the old packaging, right? It's so old. And it's a beautiful palette. It was a favorite. There's stunning colors in here. The color story is super fun. It's just not a favorite anymore, but I can't get rid of it because it's the brand Alamar Cosmetics was created by a Cuban girl from Cuba. My husband's Cuban. She's from Miami. We used to live in Miami, and it's very close to my heart. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette. The formulas in here are stunning, and each of the names too are just so special to the Cuban culture. Like Celia Cruz, Varadero Beach. It's just very sentimental, this palette. I will never be able to get rid of it, and I do need to pick it up and use it more and give it some more love. I just haven't in a while. Next up is my favorite collab. So this is eyeshadows that were created from different influencers who collab with different brands. And so I actually have 2. They're the only collab products that I have, and they are both phenomenal, so I have to talk about both. The first one is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop So Jaded palette. This thing is fantastic. So many fun different colors in here, lots of great neutrals, and just these lovely gemstone colors are just fantastic. The formula is amazing. I mean, it's ColourPop. However, this is probably expired because it's really old. But I just love it. Kathleen did such a fantastic job with this. It's been so fun to play with, so inspiring. And some of my most favorite eyeshadows are in here, like the peridot color, the diamond. I love this emerald. And then the moonstone. No, this fluorite shade is also super fun as well. So love this. I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of this either because it's just so many memories with this one as well. And it's just been so much fun to play with. And then my other favorite collab is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jackie Aina palette. Oh, the packaging is so fun. This one is fantastic. Oh no, it broke in my move. Dang it. One of the eyeshadows broke in my move, this beautiful purple, which is one of my favorite shadows in the palette. But this eyeshadow palette is just stunning. These 2 neutrals are amazing. The glitter here on this shade is just fantastic. This palette, Jackie Aina did such a fantastic job with it. It's such a fun color story and just the prettiest eyeshadows, truly. I have a lot of fun when I play with this one. Oh man, I need to use it more. I'm going to leave it out to remind myself to play with it because I really want to use the pink and the red and the purple for, I'm filming this right before Valentine's Day. This is not going up until March because I'm pre-filming just to kind of help myself when the baby comes. So anyway, yeah, this is another one of my favorite collabs. All right, the next one is the 2021 favorite. And again, going back to my brown Seduction, I used this with so many looks last year because of the browns and then this green. I just could not get enough of those eyeshadows last year. This one is definitely my most favorite eyeshadow palette of last year. I just couldn't stop using it. Just my trusty dusty, came with me on most of our trips last year. Just loved it so much. Alrighty, and then a palette that sparks joy for me is my Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity. I mean, all of my palettes spark joy, but this one especially, my favorite color is purple. Look at how many gorgeous purple eyeshadows there are in here. And they're all so unique. This one is like purple and blue. This one's like a vibrant, almost royal purple. This one has a black base with a royal reflect in it. It's just so stunning. And every time I look at it, I get so giddy to play with it. I used a little bit of this today as well. Oh, it's just so stunning and sparks so much joy. This is another present for my husband, and honestly, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and such a good bang for your buck when it comes to Pat McGrath. This was one of her holiday palettes, and it was a little bit less than like these guys. You get so many different colors, and you get to test out so many different of her formulas as well. It's just such a gorgeous palette. So much fun to play with. I can't get enough. All right, and then the last couple of questions or palettes to talk about are actually going to be based on the same one because it just happens to fall into both of these categories. So for this, we've got the newest to my collection and the first palette I used in 2022, which for me is my Natasha Denona Retro palette. This is the newest palette to my collection and happened to have been the first one I used this year. I got this for Christmas from my husband this year, and it's so fun, so pretty. These colors are so up my alley. I really love like dusty rose, cranberry purple eyeshadows. I just think they are really flattering on my eye color. And it was the first one I used this year, and it's the newest palette to my collection, and I'm so happy to have it. Natasha Denona's eyeshadows are stunning, up there with Pat McGrath quality, but they're a little bit different. Like she's got creamed powders in here. Like these three are all creamed powder, which is such a fun formula to play with. It's so interesting. And then this eyeshadow is just glorious. Psychedelic is so much fun. You can kind of see how glittery it is. It's just a fun little eyeshadow topper. I love this one. So that was the newest palette to my collection and the first one I used this year. And I'm excited to have it and keep playing with it throughout 2022. So that's all the questions that they came up with for this palette tag. I tag anyone out there that wants to film this as well, especially my friend Jamie, the Minty. I am going to link her channel down below. Please, girl, film this. I want to hear your answers to all these questions and hear you talk about all of your eyeshadow palettes that you love dearly. And I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep seeing more videos from me. I would love to have you, and give this video a big thumbs up if you like eyeshadow as much as I do. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.